And hello, everyone. We're here live at OFF with Adobe Live and the lovely Eva, who is here as our first guest. I'm going to do a little quick intro on what we're doing here at OFF. We're going to be live every day from 1 p.m. right now until 6 p.m. on behance.net/live, as well as on YouTube on the Adobe UK channel. So come and say hi. We have a live chat, and we want to hear all your questions so I can pass them on to our guests. Anything else I need to mention today? Let me check on my list. We'll have a bunch of hosts. So we'll have Melanie joining me, Rufus, of course, and myself, who's a community manager at Adobe. So that's what I do. And I'll be sharing all the latest from OFF. I think that's it. We'll have portfolio reviews later on, guests, and right now we have Eva.
Hello.
Our first guest.
Yes,
We're just
I'm
saying
so
this.
excited to be the first one.
And I was also saying you're really like chilled and relaxed. So this is a great way to start off.
Yes, exactly.
So Eva, I'll let you introduce yourself. You're joining us from the Netherlands. You've already said this to me, but introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, so I am from the Netherlands. I'm a Dutch 3D artist and an animation director. And I'm also speaking in this year's edition of OFF. Really excited about that as well. And yeah, I think what else is there to say? I have a very playful style.
Yeah.
I work in, it's mainly digital, but I try to sort of bring my work outside of the screen as well.
Yeah. And you're known for your characters and of
Yes.
course bold colors. I also love that you brought yourself into like these bold
Yes.
colors. Like you embody that as well for the audience. I'm just so excited to see, like, share your work because I love looking through it. It's also very recognizable, which I think is hard to do in the industry, like as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel this pressure as you grew as an artist?
I think in the beginning, it sort of feels like you need to be super distinctive. But
Yeah.
then when I started out doing 3D, I didn't have too much pressure because I was just playing around with it and not really thinking that this is going to be my career in a way.
Yeah.
So I think I was just having fun with it. And with that, for some reason, sort of a style or whatever you want to call it, all of a sudden happened in a way.
Yeah.
And that evolved. So yeah, I think it's sort of a natural thing because it really suits my preferences, my style. So yeah.
How did you start in this whole like career? Like how far back do you want to go about talking about this? But how did art like appeal to you and also just creating in that sense?
It's actually quite funny because I never considered myself an artist and I never even considered doing something artistic.
Yep.
I grew up in a family that I think I would say were pretty career driven and an artist to me was still very much like Bob Ross, you know. I didn't really think it could be a commercial career in that sense. So I actually studied international business.
So did
completely different.
Yeah,
oh, really?
but I stuck with it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I loved it. But then after 2 years, I thought, is this really what I want to do? Because I am very creative and maybe I should try to go for or pursue a creative career. So I switched to graphic design. I studied graphic design for 4 years. And then I had no idea what to do next, as many people. And the funny thing is, I actually got an email from Man vs. Machine, a big, very big CGI company.
Yeah.
And they asked me to do an internship there.
Okay.
And the internship was mainly art direction, so no 3D. But they asked me to do some, you know, understand a bit of 3D and understand the program a bit, so to learn it before I would go there. So I had 3 months prior to the internship. And I started learning 3D and I was hooked. And that's sort of when it started. So I didn't ever think I would be in the creative career and I didn't think I would go in 3D, but it kind of happened for me.
Yeah. And I think a lot of artists say that too. It's like a nice surprise. Or also they felt like it would let them have an outlet to just test things without any boundaries or anything like that.
Yes.
And then the boundaries came with clients.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's maybe share your screen and see if we can get some of your work up as well. We're setting that up, everyone at home.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'll say hi to anyone in the chat. So we have Sandrine who's joining. We have Karina. We have, of course, Paco who's joining us backstage. Sandrine. Doris, some very jealous people who want to be in Barcelona.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's so sunny here.
Oh, what a nice time. It's usually in May, right, that we have
Yes,
off. So
but
this
I heard
year
that last time it was raining in May.
it was, actually, I do remember that. And we're very lucky this time around.
Yes.
I think we can get your work up. Let me check. I can see it.
It's happening.
Some movement. Otherwise, we can keep chatting. I'm sure we'll.
Yeah. We'll figure that out.
One thing I wanted to ask you about is how you then grew into having clients. So, like, which clients did you work with at the start, and what clients do you work with now?
Yeah, I think that also was a really evolving over time.
Yep.
So it basically started with me doing very small projects and very editorial. So imagine, a newspaper or I don't know, the Washington Post or the
Yep.
New York Times, and they would reach out for an image or a really small animation. And that's sort of where it started.
Yep.
And then later on, it kind of snowballed into slightly bigger projects.
Yep.
So small animation became, doing 3 or 4, and then it became a big animation thing. So
Yep.
it was really interesting seeing that. And I think, the projects become bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But also, I always try to be. It's not really important whether a project is big.
Yeah.
It's more about, is it fun and is it exciting to work on?
Totally.
But yeah, there's definitely been a sort of process in that,
Yeah.
in the client work.
Do you still have time for personal projects nowadays, or do you feel like a lot of it is going to? I mean, we'll talk about H&M, for example, and other clients you've worked with. But is that some part of your experimenting too?
Definitely,
Yeah.
I find it really important as well to work on personal projects, and I would also say that sometimes I think this goes for every artist. You feel stuck and you feel like you've been, redoing what you've been done all the time, and you sort of want to reinvent yourself in a way. So I think for me it's such a nice way of trying new things.
Yep.
And I've actually recently been doing that as well. Because I know that a lot of people will disagree, but I personally felt like I was a bit in the kids' corner with my projects. It's, my aesthetic obviously attracts a lot of kids' brands, which is great, but I want to show that I'm also quite versatile with my style. So I've actually been recently exploring some things with, a bit more mature style in a way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Don't go too serious, though. You're known for being fun, so
Yeah, exactly. No. It will still be playful forever. But it's been fun sort of exploring these different things, and hopefully a client that has never seen my work in that daylight will now think, oh, I've never seen that. Maybe it's interesting for this project or that project. I'm trying to sort of stretch my boundaries in a way.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you work with any other artists or creatives out there, or are you how did you get inspired? Because I think partnering, especially during the pandemic, that was huge, right? Like still trying to get communities somehow together.
Yeah, true. And it's been so nice that we're also used to working online.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to work. Actually, last week I worked with someone from Canada, which is
Very
crazy,
cool.
but. It's really nice to work together. Also because when I started out, it was very new to me, the whole 3D.
Yeah.
And when projects come in that require animation, I'm obviously not a highly skilled animator. So I often work with a really good team of animators from all over the world. And it's been so nice to work with people, and actually they elevate my work in a way. So it's really nice to also build up this kind of network around you, where people that can do amazing things like animation, compositing, you name it. So I love to work together with people.
And I feel this at OFF as well, like you're bumping into faces that you know, and it always feels so good to be back here. Like just walking to the hotel, I was like, oh wait, that's like Timothy Goodman, and that's like, all these faces that you connect with again. Which
Exactly,
is really nice.
it's so nice because I personally live in a really quiet place. So it's so nice to be out here and meet all these people, and it's it's crazy,
So tell us a bit about H&M. I'm not sure if we will have it on screen, but how did you start working with them recently? Because that's your most recent project, right?
It is, It launched 1 week ago, and together with H&M, I created a kids collection from newborns to 14 years old.
Yep.
I would say. And I'm actually expecting myself, so my kid will
I wanted to
probably
say congrats
be
before we started.
yeah.
So we'll say on screen.
I think my kid will be screwed from, the day he's born until...
I think it's a gift.
It is, but I think when he's about 9, he will hate me for it, but it's fine.
It's a boy or...
It's a boy,
okay,
yeah. And no, but it started about a year ago.
Yeah.
And they actually just really simply reached out. It was just an email saying like, hello, we would like to work with you on this spring collection. And I couldn't believe my eyes, obviously. And then we took it from there. We sort of started with the mood boards. We started with discussing, about the collection, but also about having this green label to it and work with recycled materials and things like that, which to me obviously was really important because it's still fast fashion, but it's nice to do it in a good way.
Yeah.
And then we sort of started working on some elements and some characters, and it slowly progressed into patterns and then mock-ups of clothing, and it was a full process, but it was really nice to see it and be part of such a big company as well. So it was really fun, and now it's finally live, and it's just so surreal seeing the work in every H&M.
People can buy it. You said you spotted someone wearing the clothes in Lisbon.
It's been super crazy, and also seeing all the window displays where it's like my name is on.
Is it actually featured like on a window? Yeah.
My mind
I love
can't
that.
even handle it.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's awesome. And I mean, you started, a lot of your work is those inflatables that are quite famous. So how does it feel to have your work more in like print form or as a pattern? I mean, it's kind of branching out, like you said, a little bit from your characters at the beginning, or that you kind of have out there too. Yeah.
You mean like seeing it on clothing and such? Yeah, for me it was really, really nice because obviously my work is so digital, and I always try to push for using it in different ways. And print is always so hard when you do digital work and 3D. So that's why I loved doing this because, and also the print is actually, it's looking really nice and bright colors.
Yeah.
So it's so cool to sort of see the digital with the physical mixed together.
Yeah.
And I think that's working out actually really nicely.
Was there a little bit of back and forth in terms of making sure the quality or like the colors were turning out the way you expected them in terms of like printing on clothing, or how did that?
Yeah, I actually expected them to be really, how do you say that, dull colors?
Yeah.
Because often when it's sort of on screen, it pops out, and then when you print it on your own home printer, it's like, where is all my color? But then they obviously have these really cool techniques, and they use them all to sort of really make the colors shine through.
Yep.
Which was really nice to see that. So no, I'm really happy with that outcome as well. It's a really bright collection.
So good. And have you worked also with murals or anything that's kind of also larger scale, or is that on your target?
Well, I actually always thought it would be so cool to do a mural, but I can't paint in a way. And it's so hard
Maybe you can.
maybe I can. But it's more like a wall, I give it one color.
Yeah.
No, but actually I did do murals, but it was really cool. It was a project for Amazon Music.
Nice.
And they sort of highlighted a music artist every month.
Okay.
And then they asked another artist to sort of work together and create an artwork with the music artist and the artist. So it was really cool. And what they did is they took my digital artwork and they actually painted it on a mural. So I didn't paint it myself, but some really skilled people did it. And it was really cool, and it was in the middle of New York.
What?
And
That's
I
insane.
actually went there one time while I was there to check it out. And it was just incredible seeing, again, the digital work in such a physical space where people were passing by.
And it can really change how you experience space too when you have like artwork. And I know there's always something happening at OFF as well outside, like with the lettering and like painting. And I just love that hands-on approach. But yeah, hopefully that's something you can work on eventually if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else that's happening this year that you're excited for, that you can share in terms of projects that are coming up? You don't have to sneak anything that's not allowed.
I'm just trying to think of it. I have recently been wrapping up some projects that will go live later this year. One being a very fun sort of avatar project where you can, I can't say the brand, I think.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
We'll keep it.
But it's, anyway, you could sort of pick your own avatar and, it animates, and it's going to be really fun. But also I've been exploring some more personal projects recently, which I think is nice. And I hope that some work will come of that as well. But I think for now, this was my main sort of thing for this first half year. Obviously, this is happening as well. So let's just see how this year will plan out. But I'm sure there will be many fun projects along the line. Yeah.
And what tools are you sometimes experimenting with new tools, or what tools do you actually work with for just designing in general?
Yeah, I use actually quite a lot of tools. For 3D, I use Cinema 4D. And Redshift, but I also use a lot of Adobe products because I do a lot of After Effects, obviously,
very cool.
You know, combining the animation, doing Photoshop a lot because I love working with mixed media, for example, photography in combination with 3D, and then I love using Photoshop to sort of mix it all together. And it's been nice because sort of having this graphic design background really helped me using all these products before, and now I can sort of reuse them again. Or sometimes I also use Illustrator where I create a shape and then import it into Cinema 4D. Very technical, but yeah, it's really nice to sort of use that mix of.
That's quite amazing, actually. Like, we usually have like big fans. They're like, I'm in Photoshop. Don't send me anywhere else. I think in Illustrator it gets people quite overwhelmed too, like as a tool in itself. So how did you pick this up? Was this like, especially studying international business, like that's not something you would have been taught at university or in school? Or
I actually did use Photoshop from a quite early age.
Ah, good,
And I actually started using it for creating fake IDs.
We're not
so
promoting
to get my friends in a club or something, which
Look
is
at
really
where
funny.
it took you now.
That's what I mean.
That's a success story.
And then I started doing like posters for school and things like that. You know, this sort of school prom idea, and then I would create the poster. So that always has been there. But then when I started studying graphic design, that's where really, you know, these programs came in a different way, and After Effects and Illustrator. You sort of had to learn bits and pieces of it, and I still sort of take information from that to use it now in my work.
That's awesome.
So,
I'm going to try and scroll through. I don't know if we can have the screen share, but we'll definitely be able to chat through at least one more project. I'm wondering which one we should.
I think we do have the screen share.
Do we have the screen? Ah, it's working. Great.
It's working, yeah.
You can always put in the comments and then in the chat if you're not seeing something we're talking about. So great. We can start with your website, I think.
Yeah.
Shall we refresh it? We talked about this before.
Let's refresh it. So I'm quite proud, actually, of my website because let's see if it's working. It's a blank page. I'm very proud of this blank page. I don't know why it's not working. Let me just try to do this.
Maybe it's the connection.
The connection is not there. It's the first talk, guys, so this can happen.
Totally.
Anyway, this is it starts off with a video, but we can totally skip that for now. Not sure if we are in the air right now.
We are, but I'm not sure if the screen share is up. So we'll chat through it. We've had someone in the chat who's just been saying that they're waiting for the trainers at H&M to be an adult size.
Oh yes, that would be amazing though. I have actually quite a big size, so I would never fit into the kids.
You need to get that adult collection out there.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that's fun for people that are watching, and since the screen share is not really working, is to go to my website. It's evacremers.com. And what's really fun is that I have a part in there that's called The Factory. And you can actually create your own character in it. It's really fun. So you can sort of pick your body, you can pick your background, you can sort of move all sorts of elements around.
So very interactive.
It's very interactive, and then you can save it.
Wait, I didn't even see this when I went through your website.
Yeah, I think they can see it now. So you can sort of create your own happy character, and you can, you know, select your body and select your background, and then you can
So cool.
move around, you know, eyes, mouths, and it's just really fun feature of my website, I think.
I love that.
And then you can save it as an image and, I don't know, share it online.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, for my website, to not just be a classic portfolio, but
Yeah.
to have it all, to share projects, to share, you know, something fun. And I also have the lab, which is more of an experimental
Yep.
place where I share sketches and, you know, things I've been doing that aren't necessarily part of a bigger project, or they are, but, you know, old work or things like that. And it's always interesting because clients obviously like to see my projects, but they are also really interested in seeing these sort of smaller sketches to find some ideas. And they often refer to this page as well and say like, hey, I saw this image and we think this or that would work really well with what we have in mind. So for me, this is also
and it's
really
much
nice.
less passive, as you said. Like I think you see a lot of portfolios that are just like and of great work, but I really like that you're like people can have fun with it and play with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that a lot.
We have some great comments in the chat. Karina is saying that she loves your work. Sandrine says she loves the unicorn pinata. Oh, here it is.
Yes.
I can see it now.
It was a really fun project. I didn't release it as a full project, but it was sort of a character I created for this phone company in New Zealand. And this character actually was flying over New Zealand. It was really crazy.
That's surreal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was really funny.
Should we show your Instagram as well now that we're up? Maybe we can go through or quickly the H&M one so people can see it. Up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, so on my Instagram, I already shared H&M.
Yep.
And you can also see some of my recent work. We've just talked about that I'm sort of exploring a new direction as well.
Yep.
Not to say that that's what I want to focus on, but just to play a bit with it. So here you can see some perfume, trying to get that playfulness in, playing with type as well. And yeah, here you can see my project
so nice.
with H&M. It just still blows my mind when I see it, even because my logo is actually bigger than theirs.
Yeah.
It's just,
That shows so much about the collaboration aspect too, that the designers
exactly
elevated.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
And the images are really nice as well. So it's this is obviously for like young girls.
Yep.
This is for newborns, really cute. So it's been amazing seeing all these images.
So nice.
And one thing I'm really proud of is actually these window displays. And people all over the world been sharing these displays with me.
Yep.
And it's been from, I don't know, the Philippines, Panama, Sweden, Mexico. It's just so crazy seeing it all.
So are you getting tagged on Instagram, or how are you seeing?
Yeah, but also some people are sort of sending me the images on Instagram. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. We have about like 1 minute to go until we have to go to the next session. So tell us quickly, when is your talk at OFF and what will you be talking about?
It's at 8:30.
Yeah, today.
Today. And it's mainly about me telling about my journey from where I started to where it's now and how it all happened. And because I've been doing this for about 3.5 years, so
just
it's been
3.5. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's been a journey, and I'd like to tell some of that and some of the insights that I've learned so far.
Amazing. So we'll definitely stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for joining.
Yes,
that was really quick. So
me.
stay for 5 minutes, and we'll be right back with Robert.
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.